It begins in a chocolate factory production line called Wonka, where someone puts 5 golden tickets in 5 chocolates. The chocolates are then shown leaving for various cities around the world. We then see a little boy named Charlie Bucket get home. He belongs to a poor family. His dad returns home from work as he was doing his homework. When his dad goes to hug his mom, she asks if he got anything to add to the dinner soup, but he says he doesn't. But he has got something for Charlie. Charlie's father works at the toothpaste factory as a toothpaste cap assembler. He got Charlie a distorted toothpaste cap, which he used as Willy Wonka's head for the huge chocolate factory he made out of toothpaste caps. His grandfather Joe then tells him he used to work for Willy Wonka when he was young, when he opened his first store, and the whole world wanted his candy. His grandfather tells him that he was a genius as he invented a new way of making chocolate ice cream so that it stays cold for hours without a freezer. Charlie said that's impossible, but his grandfather tells him Willy Wonka did it. He tells Charlie that 15 years ago, he built the biggest chocolate factory in history. As they were having dinner, his grandfather tells him about an Indian royal, Prince Pondicherry, who asked Willy to come all the way to India to build him a colossal palace made entirely of chocolate. He built the palace with 100 rooms, where everything was made out of chocolate. The bricks, the cement holding it together, the walls and ceilings. So were the carpets, pictures, and furniture. The prince tells him the palace was perfect after he completed it, but Willy told him to get to eating it soon, since it won't last long. The prince ignores Willy, and after some time, there was an extremely hot day with boiling sun, and the palace started melting away. The prince sent Willy an urgent telegram requesting a new palace, but Willy had his own problems then. Jealous of Willy, other chocolate makers had been sending spies to the factory to steal his secret recipe. Many other companies started copying his ideas. The thievery got so bad that one day he told every worker to go home and that he's closing his chocolate factory forever. But Charlie says that the factory is open now. Then his grandfather tells him that after many years, he suddenly seen smoke coming out of the chocolate factory, and it started again. Charlie asked if he got his job back, but he said no one did. They then wondered who's working in the factory then, since they don't see anyone enter or leave the factory ever. Charlie says they can ask Mr. Wonka, but his grandfather tells him that no one has seen him as he never comes out, only the chocolate comes out, nothing else. In the middle of the night, some people from the chocolate factory put up some notices around town. When the morning came, the city got to know that Willy Wonka was going to allow 5 children to visit his factory this year, and one of these special kids will receive an unimaginable special prize. 5 golden tickets have been hidden under the wrapping paper of any 5 ordinary Wonka bars. Those candy bars can be anywhere, in any shop, in any country around the world. Children all around the world rush to grab the chocolates. It's chaos. Charlie's grandfather tells him wouldn't it be amazing if he opened a candy bar and found a golden ticket inside. Charlie says that he only gets 1 candy bar a year on his birthday. His mom says his birthday is next week. His grandparent tells him that he can win too, while the other grandparent says that the kids who are going to find the golden tickets are the ones who can afford to buy candy bars every day. And Charlie doesn't have a chance. The family hear the news of a fat boy from Germany, named Augustus Gloop, found the first ticket. As he was being interviewed, his mother says he eats so many candy bars a day that it wasn't possible for him not to find one. Only 4 tickets left. The next ticket was found by a girl named Veruca Salt. Her dad says that as soon as she said she wants the golden ticket, he started buying all the candy bars he could get his hands on. Hundreds of thousands. He's in the nut business, so he told his workers to stop shelling peanuts and start shelling the wrappers off the chocolate bars. Some days passed, and Veruca demanded for her ticket, and then one of his workers found it and tried to hide it, but he caught her. He gave the ticket to his daughter, but as soon as she received the ticket, she asked for a pony. Charlie's family watching her on the news said that she's worse than the fat boy. Charlie says he doesn't think it's fair since she didn't find it herself. Just then Charlie's parents enter the house with a surprise for Charlie and ask him to open his birthday present, which was a Wonka bar that night. Charlie doesn't get the golden ticket when he opens it and decides to share it with his family. The next day, they see a girl named Violet Beauregard found the 3rd ticket. She shows off her many trophies and says she's gonna win this too. They get to know that a gamer boy named Mike TV found the 4th ticket. He figured out which candy bar would have the ticket by cracking the algorithm and bought just that candy bar, saying he doesn't even like chocolate. Charlie asks his dad why he is at home, and he said that the toothpaste factory gave him a break. But in reality, the factory asked him to quit due to automation, as the increasing chocolate sales gave rise to toothpaste sales. Charlie later hears his parents talking about how his father lost his job. Just then his grandfather calls him, gives him money to buy another candy bar so they can open it together. They open it and sadly no golden ticket. Charlie overhears a conversation about the last candy bar being found in Russia. Saddened, he walks away but notices $10 in the snow and picks it up. He takes it to the store and buys a chocolate bar. Just then he overhears a woman saying that the last ticket was forged. Charlie opens the bar and finds the ticket. A man near him offers him $50 and a bike, and a woman offers him $500. But the shop owner asks them to leave him alone and tells Charlie to take the ticket straight home. As Charlie reaches home and informs his family, grandfather Joe dances with joy, and his parents read it aloud. It says that the ticket owner and one other family member is invited to the chocolate factory and will be hosted by Willy Wonka himself for the whole day, and he will personally show them around the factory himself. They will take home more chocolate than they can possibly eat in their life, and that the winner will get an unimaginable reward. Grandfather Joe says he'll go with him, but Charlie says no one is going as he wants to sell the ticket since they need the money more than chocolate. His grandfather sinks. Just then his other grandparent tells him that there's a lot of money out in the world, but only 5 tickets, so he tells him to get ready for tomorrow. The participants and their parents arrive at the factory before time and wait for the factory gates to open. The gates open and Willy Wonka welcomes them inside. After going inside, Willy asks them to remove the coats and they enter a locked room. It is a unique-looking room made entirely out of chocolate. Willy warns them to not get overexcited and asks them to stay calm. Willy then goes on to explain about the chocolate river being made of molten chocolate, which has a chocolate waterfall, and tells them that no other factory in the world mixes the chocolate using a waterfall. Willy then tells them about the pipe machine hovering above the river that sucks up the chocolate and transports it all over the factory. He tells them that the grass is edible and made of chocolate, and everything in that room is made out of chocolate, and tells them to go and try what they want. Everyone begins to eat different chocolates around them. Then suddenly Verica spots an Oompa Loompa and asks if they're real. Willy says that they are real people and are from Loompa. Willy tells them that Loompa is filled with thick jungles and has the most dangerous beasts in the entire world. The Oompa Loompas lived in tree houses to escape the dangerous predators below. They ate nothing but green caterpillars which tasted horrible, but the food that they loved the most was the cocoa bean. They were lucky if they found 3 or 4 cocoa beans a year. They craved cocoa beans. Since chocolate is made of cocoa beans, Willy told the chief to come and live in his factory, and he can have all the cocoa beans he wants. He can even pay their wages in cocoa beans. The chief agreed. Willy says they are good workers, but they are very mischievous and keep cracking jokes. Then suddenly Augustus's mum screams at him as he is drinking chocolate from the river. Willy tries to tell him not to do that, but he falls into the river before that. The pipe machine arrives to suck the chocolate from the river, and Augustus gets pulled into its current and gets sucked in by the machine and gets stuck in it. The Oompa Loompas tell the children that Augustus will not be harmed. Augustus's mother asks if her son is okay, so Willy calls an Oompa Loompa and asks him to take Mrs. Gloop to the fudge room to find her son. They get on with the tour. A beautiful pink boat comes to take them. On the boat, Charlie asks Willy if he remembers what it was being a child. Willy goes back to memories of him being a child where he went trick-or-treating. Willy is the son of the city's most famous dentist, Willy Wonka. His father scans through the chocolates he got through trick-or-treating and throw them all in the fire, as he doesn't want Willy's teeth to get bad by eating them. Charlie then brings Willy back to reality by telling him that they are heading for a tunnel. It turns into a roller coaster ride. Willy stops the boat and they enter a room called the Inventing Room. He tells them that this is the most important room in the factory and asks them not to touch anything. He shows them the hair toffee. Half an hour after having it, the person will grow a mustache, a beard. But he hasn't got the formula right, as an Oompa Loompa tried it yesterday and started growing hair uncontrollably. Willy then shows them a big machine that starts buzzing and beeping after he presses a button, and then comes out a chewing gum. He explains that the chewing gum is a 3-course meal in one. It is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Violet says it's made for her. Willy tries to stop her, but she goes ahead and tries it. She enjoys the flavors of the gum until she reaches the blueberry pie. Then her nose starts turning blue, and soon her whole body is blue. She starts swelling up like a blueberry. Willy then calls an Oompa Loompa and tells him to take Mrs. Beauregard to the juicing room to squeeze all the juice out of her. They get on with the tour and go to the nut sorting room. Charlie asks Willy if he remembers the first time he had chocolate. Willy then has a flashback of finding a chocolate near the fireplace, eating it, then falling in love with chocolate and not getting enough of it. As they enter, Mr. Salt tells Willy that he is in the nut business. Willy ignores it completely. They enter a room where specially trained squirrels get the nuts out of the shell. Mr. Salt asks Willy, why is he using squirrels and not Oompa Loompas? Willy tells him that only squirrels can get the whole walnut out almost every single time, and that they check if it is a good nut by banging them with their knuckles. Verica tells her father that she wants one of those squirrels. Her father tells her that she's got many marvelous pets at home, but she says she doesn't have enough. Mr. Salt tells her that he'll get her a squirrel, but she says that she wants a trained squirrel. So Mr. Salt asks Willy to name his price for one squirrel. Willy tells him that they are not for sale. Then Veruca says she'll get one herself and goes to get one. As she goes to grab one, suddenly it jumps and all the squirrels run towards her and push her down. Willy then searches for the key to open the gate, but has to try many. The squirrels then climb on Veruca and go next to her head to check if she's a bad nut. They think that she is, so they throw her in the garbage and get back to work. Willy then tells Mr. Salt that if she's stuck in the garbage chute, he just has to pull her out, so he steps in to check. As Mr. Salt looks in the garbage chute, a squirrel pushes him in the garbage as well. They get on with the tour. Willy then takes them on an elevator which can go in all directions, not just up and down, and they pass a fudge mountain room and candy shooting area. Then Mike asks Willy why does he have all these pointless rooms, and Charlie answers him saying candy doesn't have to have a point. Then Willy has a flashback of his father saying candy is a waste of time, and his son is not allowed to be a chocolatier. Willy says he'll run away to Switzerland, Bavaria, the candy capitals of the world, and he leaves home. Mike says that he wants to pick a room that they will go to and he picks the television room. As they enter the television room, Willy tells them to wear certain glasses that protects their eyes from the light that can burn the eyeballs there. Willy then tells them about his invention called television chocolate, where just like how the television can break a picture into tiny pieces and then reassemble it on the other end, he wants to do the same with chocolate, and he wants to send a bar of chocolate through the television ready to be eaten. Then Mike tells him that it's impossible because he does not understand anything about science. Then Willy demonstrates how he will send a bar of chocolate from one end of the room to the other using television. The Oompa Loompas place a huge chocolate bar on a platform. Willy's machine starts and the chocolate disappears. Willy then tells them to look for the chocolate in the television. It appears in the television and Willy asks Mike to reach out and get it. Mike doesn't, so Willy asks Charlie to take it. Charlie reaches out, takes it, then Willy asks Charlie to taste it. Mike then asks Willy if he can transport other things. He says he can. Then Mike tells Willy he's stupid because he doesn't realize that he has stumbled upon the invention of the teleporter, one of humanity's greatest inventions. Mike then runs towards the machine, starts it and jumps on the platform. The machine starts and Mike disappears. They then rush to the television to see if he's there. Mike then appears in the television. Then his father reaches out and grabs him. Then Mike tells Willy to put him back the other way, but Willy tells him that there is no other way. Then Willy tells an Oompa Loompa to take Mike and his father to the taffy puller to stretch him out. Then Willy asks how many children are left, and realizes that Charlie is the only one left, and congratulates him as he is the winner. They get on the elevator and Willy then presses the button up and out. Charlie asks him what it is, and he tells Charlie to hold on. The elevator then flies out of the factory as they see the remaining 4 kids walk out with their parents. Willy then asks Charlie where he lives. Charlie shows him and Willy drops them home. On reaching Charlie's house, Willy tells his family that Charlie has won and Willy will be giving Charlie his entire factory. Willy goes on to explain that he was having his haircut and he sees a gray hair, and that he needs to find someone to take care of the factory and the Oompa Loompas after he is gone. That's why he sent out the golden tickets to see who was the least rotten. Then Willy asks Charlie if he's ready to run the factory with him. Charlie asks him if he can get his family along. Willy says he can't run a factory if he has his family hanging over him. A chocolatier needs to be solo and follow his dreams. Charlie then asks him if he will never see his family again. Willy agrees. Then Charlie says he's not going as he wouldn't give up his family for anything in the world. He apologizes to Willy and says he's staying with his family. Willy asks him if he'll change his mind, but Charlie says no and Willy goes back. Grandma Georgina then says things will get much better. Charlie spent the next morning fixing the hole in the roof with his parents. Grandpa Joe spent the whole day out of bed and wasn't tired. Charlie's father got a better job at the toothpaste factory of repairing the machine that replaced him. It was never better for Charlie's family, but Willy was going through some struggles. He goes to a therapist, telling him he doesn't know which flavors to make, which ideas to try. Then he realizes that his candies are bad because he's feeling bad. One day, a man whose shoe Charlie's polishing asks him about Willy Wonka and if he met him. Charlie says yes, he met him. He was nice at first, but he didn't turn out so nice after all, and he had a weird haircut. To that, Willy reveals that he's the man himself, and Charlie asks him why he is there. Willy says that he doesn't feel so good and asks Charlie what makes him feel good when he feels terrible. Charlie says his family. Charlie asks him what does he have against his family. Willy says he doesn't have anything against Charlie's family, but the whole idea of family that they tell you what to do and what not, which is not good for a creative environment. Charlie tells him that's because they're trying to protect him because they love him. And Charlie tells him if he doesn't believe him, he can ask his family. Charlie asks Willy if he wants him to come along to visit his father's house. They go together and say they're there for an overdue appointment. Charlie strolls in and sees that Willy's father kept all of the paper cuttings of Willy's success. Willy's father checks his teeth and realizes it's his son. They hug. Willy then repeated his offer to Charlie, and he accepted it with one condition: that he could bring his family along. It ends with Willy joining Charlie's family for dinner, and them discussing chocolate at the dinner table and having a great meal. Thank you guys for watching, and if you liked this video, make sure to watch the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Bye.